Well, it's been a couple of weeks, so I thought we would walk through my beds, just the beds right now because I don't have a ton of space today. But everything is growing so well. I've got these enormous marigolds that look amazing, and then this is the chamomile. Oh my gosh, look how big it got. It's so intense. I love it. The stalk, I really don't like the stalk. It's too short. I was hoping for more like a 2-footer, and it's barely a foot right now. So I think I'm going to cut these and probably take them out. They don't take up a ton of space, but they're just not the right height because once the plants at the back here grow a little bit, they're gonna just get completely swamped by them. But I've got my marigolds that are back here, and some zinnias, and nigellas that are growing. They're all nigellas kind of stay flat, and then they'll produce a big flower stalk. So it looks okay for now, but I think the stalk, you can see they're very short. Like this is the height of my hand. Yeah, it's little, and I have really, really small hands. Some hollyhock for next year, some zinnias. So the thing about hollyhocks is that they get real tall and they need support. So next year I want them to grow against this big obelisk here, but the obelisk is empty right now, so I need to put something in besides the spinach, which literally hasn't grown at all. I don't think it's warm enough for it. But my dill has finally come up behind, and I've got some fennel that's starting to come up. The cosmos is looking really, really nice too. Again, these are my the ones that I planted inside, because the outside cosmos look like this compared to these big ones. So yeah, this is my cut flower bed. Dahlias back there, penstemons here. I still have a tiny bit of empty space here. I put some starts in, but I forgot to label them because I'm a genius. So I guess I'll find out what those are. These are liatris here, and I know I put liatris somewhere else in the yard, but I can't remember where, so I will be surprised when they come up. This is what happens when you don't label your stuff. My sunflowers planted very, very tight, 6 to 8 inches apart. I want them to be tight so that they don't get quite as tall, but they should still produce, and they're starting to get their real big leaves here, you know, so they're gonna get enough energy to produce that giant flower head. And then next to them are some starts that are coming up. These are big dianthus. I love dianthus, but I want big dianthus. I don't like the tiny 8 to 12 inch dianthus. I want like 3-foot dianthus. So I'm hoping that these are the giant ones. And if not, I'll try again next year. These are some bachelor's buttons that are coming up, and my glads are looking amazing. And then in between the glads, I had to squeeze little zinnias inside, but I think it'll be okay because the glads, they're going to be done pretty quickly here, probably in the next month. And then I'll need space. And there's my rose that's going to climb the arch. I need to get another rose for this arch, but I don't think I'm going to do it this year. This is my raku, and I'm so excited because in between I've got shiso that's self-sprouted. This is just from the soil that was, you know, from the pot. But there's a bunch of tiny shiso. I think that's aurak over there. So really excited for self-sown things because yay, free plants. My herbs that I just watered, so it's looking sad, but it's not actually. Arugula, cilantro, carrots, onion, cilantro, dill, really big marigolds. I'm going to sow some more. Actually, it's time to sow some more because you need to do that in order to have continuous harvest until the summer before they bolt. I got these from a garden sale. This is bulbing fennel. I've never grown it before, so I'm really excited about that. And even if they don't produce, or I don't know, they don't taste good or for whatever reason, I just love this foliage. Oh my gosh, look at this structure. It's just so good. So very excited for that. None of my gourds are happy, but it's been cold, so I just have to deal with it for now. Same with my roses, you know, these are the new roses. So these are all Edens, all 3 of these. And I will just chill out and wait for them to get big. This year, I mean, they'll grow a little bit, but definitely, you know, this is their first year, so they're going to take a while to settle in. But unlike the roses, look at my big cauliflower. Yeah, so excited. So Isaac was really into cauliflower this year. He really wanted to grow some, and I want to encourage him. So we have a lot of cauliflower growing this year, and I don't love it as a crop because once you cut it, you kind of just got to kill the whole plant. Like, it doesn't produce anything else, unlike kale, which I also have a ton of over here. I'm going to dig these out and give these away. Or I'm going to dig about half of them out, and you can see I took these in early spring. They have definitely taken and rooted. There's lots of new leaves happening. There's lots of new growth. And I just don't need, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 kale babies when I have a mountain of kale over there. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to take out about half of these, and I'm gonna give them away to you know, garden friends and such, just so that I can get other plants, and then I don't have to have 16 kale plants. This was my very sad looking artichoke that I bought from this lady off Facebook Marketplace, and it is clearly fully recovered. I cut off the bottom leaves that were super sad, and now we have a beautiful artichoke, and there's a choke that's growing, so very exciting. Lots of zinnias and just stuff in the ground here that I couldn't find space for, so they're gonna live here and compete. More cauliflowers, and with lettuce in between, because by the time that the cauliflowers get big, I think the lettuce will be done anyway. There's one lettuce that's just looking really sad. I have no idea why it's melting, but I will probably just go get another lettuce start, because there's a couple of them that are suffering like that, and I'll just do that. Carrots, greens. So these are just my greens beds and my peas, and they're just getting started now because I started growing greens in that bed first, and so this is just the second set. And so I'm just kind of moving along my beds and planting stuff as, you know, every couple of weeks, so that I can have succession plants. So they're doing good. My squash is, it's working on it. So you can see I have another one of those sad lettuces, and it doesn't make sense because look at how beautiful these are. So something happened in the transplant process, but it's okay. These are the green onions that I started from the grocery store green onions, and they're so fat. I mean, just look at the stem of this thing. It is intense. I'm really excited about these. Excited to just have a lot of green onions for next year, because I don't like having to go buy green onions, especially in the winter. My beans, these are my Romano beans, I think. Yeah, they're Romano beans. So I'm very excited about Romano beans because they are so delicious and they are the best. And I'm just waiting for them to go. And then they're next to this squash vine, which is struggling too. But these will completely, I'm anticipating each of these to take up at least half of this thing, right? So it's gonna be a lot. And I'll put in some more beans here shortly. I wanted to stagger my beans too, so that I don't end up with all of the beans all at once, because that's intense. I don't need that many beans. shiso is over there, more green lettuce, a honeyboat squash. I love honeyboat. It's blooming already, but it's useless because it only has male flowers. Yep, these are the male flowers. They don't have any female buds yet, which is expected. They usually practice with their male flowers before they have female flowers. More lettuce, again, with just, there's like a random sad one. I don't know why. Cilantro, golden berries, or ground cherries. These are just my herbs, and then this is the sunflower bed these are the ones I transplanted, and then these are the new ones that I just put in seed for. So I wanted to have some sunflowers over here because you can see it's morning right now, and I want them to face the correct way. And then the rest of the yard is intense and big and growing everywhere, but let's see, we'll walk over to the corner and take a look at this because this one is new. This is a winter jasmine that I just got from Costco. So excited. Oh, it smells so good. I should have bought 2, and now I'm regretting my life decisions. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a second one, but I know my local Costco doesn't have any more, so I'm just gonna have to see if I can locate a second one. I really want this whole area to be covered. I don't want to see my neighbors. They're nice neighbors. I don't need to see them. So I want most of this to be completely covered, and I want this area to be very enclosed because this is just kind of ugly right now. But in here, I'm actually really excited about this area. There is a whole bunch of poppies on the ground that have self-sown. There's kale, there's the Solomon seal. There's just so much stuff that's living just because I started watering it. Yeah, and I have Brunera and bleeding hearts in here, and the bleeding hearts are still somehow managing to bloom even though it's definitely way past its time. And the poppies. Soon I will have poppy flowers. I'm so excited. It's been years since I've had poppies. This is my very intense kale. This is the walking cane kale, and they are so extra. I love them, but it's a struggle. And I'm very excited because I can see buds on my Casablancas. So the Casablancas are old. They have been here for many, many years, and so I expect them to be one of the first to bloom. And then you can see they all have these speckles on their leaves because we had hail like 2 weeks ago. So all of my poor big leafed plants got damaged, but they're fine. They don't care. This is my Japanese garden area that's new, and this rose just opened today. That's so good. That rose is so good. It's not what I bought. I don't know how I ended up with this plant because it's definitely not what I bought. But I'm not complaining because it's so beautiful. And then I don't remember. I traded for this plant, and then these are 2 black hollyhocks. But this area is a little bit open right now because I want to do something right here. I just haven't committed to what that is yet. So that's what it is. My ginkgo that is just unbelievable. I love ginkgo. I want a big ginkgo, even though I have no space. But this is not a rational mind. Everything is growing up crazy. The GM, I moved the GM over here from my full sunbed. This is a part sunbed, and it is so much happier. So GM don't want to be in full sun for sure. Just the most amazing irises. My irises are amazing. Look at these. Oh, bee friend. Oh, these are starting to go, but that's okay. You can see some new blooms too, double columbines. I even love the way the petal falls on the ground. I've got my foxgloves. They just started opening this week. These I didn't sow them here, so I'm a little worried about how crazy it's gonna get next year, but I'm gonna just let it be. I've got oregano for life. The hydrangea is happy, but it's still tilted the wrong way, so it may take more than 1 year to correct. That's just how it is. And my irises, my blue irises. Look at my blue iris. Oh my gosh. I love the blue with the orange. California poppies. Oh, it's so nice. It looks so good. In the morning, I love looking at the willow, the speckled willow. Hi, bee friend. I am not a flower. And then I finally have a vine that is starting to vine up the fence. So I'm excited for that. My peonies are almost blooming here. We'll just walk around. Cute little peonies. You can see based on the size of the bulb here that it's almost there. It's probably maybe a week out from blooming. They're still pretty tight, but it's starting to, you can start to see the petals. So pretty. My tricolor sage. They're so good. Look at them. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try to take some cuttings and divisions of this because I really, really like it. I am going to rip these out. The bees, I'm so torn because the bees love this whole area. I mean, you can see how many bumblebees are literally, they're like all over right now. But it is very invasive. It just gets absolutely everywhere. It's filled out this entire area. Like you can see it's spilling, it's just everywhere. And I have a poor little salvia in here that is just struggling for life. Maybe I'll transplant the salvia. Just a poor thing. You can't even see it. It's right there. So I'm gonna move it because there's just no way it's gonna survive with this beast taking over. But I just love seeing all the bees running around. So we'll just deal with it. I've been deadheading because it definitely produces more flowers when it's deadheaded. So I'm gonna at least deadhead a bunch of it to try to thin it out and just, keep it healthier, keep it blooming. Because the entire reason I have it here is to get all of these bees. Okay, look at my iris, huh? Look at this. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? That is amazing. I've got two kinds of iris right here. There's an orange looking one and a pink looking one. And I genuinely don't even remember planting them. But my God, I did so good. Or that's not true. I remember planting them, obviously, but I don't remember that I bought these varieties and they just look. Look at them. I love the way they look in the sun. I love their ruffles. It's just everything about them is spectacular. And they bloom for such a short period, but I will gladly grow them all year just to have blooms that look like this. They're so tall, they're so elegant. These are late summers, oriental poppies and dahlias. I have a bunch of trades for more oriental poppies because I love the way they look, so I'm going to do that shortly. Oh, look at I'm just gonna stand and look at the iris a whole bunch, Just do that all day. All right. This is all late summer stuff. Lilies probably in a month maybe. These onions are almost done. I'm probably gonna cut it back a little bit. The onions are getting a little intense in my yard. So one of my strategies for not having weeds is just to grow so densely that I don't have weeds. I still have weeds, but it is so dense that, think about what's going to grow in here. Nothing, right? These are all big, mature plants, and nothing is going to make it in here. I do have a note for myself to transplant these poor bushes here. So that's a euonymus and some kind of box, and they are just absolutely crushed in this area. So I'm gonna move them. I think I'm gonna move them right here, so that they actually have a chance at life, because yeah, this is now full shade with all of the lilies and the daylilies that have come up. I'm still torn about the daylilies. I'm gonna let them bloom this year and see how I feel about that. But everybody's doing so good right now, and I'm just gonna let them be, do their thing. I don't remember what this is. I probably bought it a long time ago, but I've just forgotten this year. My rhodies are here, totally getting swamped, but it's okay. They're done blooming. Hydrangeas starting to open. Pink hydrangeas here. Here's a open one. I don't cut these because I don't think hydrangeas make good cut flowers. I know stores sell them, but I just think they're inferior. This is some very, very sad specialist buttons that I have transplanted this year. You can see how they have powdery mildew on them. I hate them. So that's a no on those. Hydrangeas and azaleas. I want a whole row of hydrangeas and azaleas here, so I think that's future year's plan, probably not this year. I'm gonna go check out some azaleas and rhodies this weekend, so maybe that's a false statement right now, but it's very hard to work this soil, so it's gonna take a long time just to get the soil to a growable state. But I amended the hell out of my soil right here, and so you can see it is working because it's producing a ton of blueberries. My blueberries are insane, and I didn't actually manage to plant all of the hydrangeas. I have one more hydrangea, but the soil here, oh my god, you can just see it's like just rock and sand. It's awesome. So I have to take out the soil, put in new soil, put in my poor plant, and then wait. And it's just a big struggle. I don't love that. Big hole that I've been trying to dig, and then I get too tired and too hot and I give up. And yeah, this is a new kiwi that's growing. I hope that it'll produce this year, but I never have too many expectations for first year plants. And that is it. So we're gonna end right here.